If you use Apple AirTags, I'm about to make your life a lot better. So I love AirTags, but if you're like me and put them on everything you own, they can be a little bit expensive at 30 bucks a piece. But luckily, Apple recently made it so outside companies can develop devices for the Find My network, and that's where these things come in. These things are basically just really cheap AirTags that work with the same Apple network you're used to, but they're like $10 a piece. On top of being way more affordable, there's a few things I actually like about them more than the AirTags. The first one being this built-in little hanger thing, which I'm sure all of you have had the need for when you're trying to hang them on your keys and stuff. Has it built in. It's also a little bit more sturdy feeling, and it's quite a bit louder for the chime. Let me show you. I don't know how well this thing will pick up on camera, but it's loud. I don't know if you've used the AirTags before, but the speaker on them is quite a bit quieter. This thing you'll hear. Now, there is one major difference between these and the AirTags, and that's there's no ultra wideband chips, so you're not going to be able to do this to find your AirTags when you're close to them, but I think the loudspeaker kind of cancels out the need for this, at least in most cases. But because of this, the battery life on them is a little bit longer as well. They use the same type of battery you would use in your AirTag, and they're otherwise, like I said, absolutely identical. You can still put them in lost mode. They still bind to your iCloud account. These things are just really incredible. You get these things just right on Amazon. I'll put a link to them in my bio. They did just come out, but they're gaining traction like really quickly. Like I said, they're like 10 bucks a pop, and they come in a bunch of different pack sizes. Yeah, like 4-pack for $40, 2-pack for $22, 1-pack for $13. Like, that's so good. Anyway, I know there's a lot of AirTag lovers out there like me, and we haven't really had any alternatives, but we do now, so I thought I'd let you guys know. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. This is practical 3D printing, where I use my 3D printer to make genuinely useful things. Today I was doing some work on this apartment, and I saw this little HDMI cable setup where it was literally run right through raw drywall. Didn't like that, so I went home and I modeled this thing. Then I grabbed some of this TPU filament, which is super flexible like rubber. Then I clicked print. Then I waited. This took about 15 minutes to print. Okay, all done. Peeled this thing off the plate, and you'll see here the final part is super duper flexible. Like I said, it's pretty much like rubber. Really happy with how this thing turned out. And the cable is now going to be able to run through this piece here, this little hole. Anyway, moving on, brought it back over to the apartment and slid over the HDMI cable just like this. Then I put the grommet thing all the way into the wall. I was really happy this fit first try without having to cut it down any further. And now the HDMI cable is free to slide in and out. It looks good with this grommet thing, and it's easy to run more cables if I need. That's practical 3D printing. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video. Bye. Here's something you probably don't know about your Apple HomePod. There's a whole bunch of different built-in ambient noises that you can trigger through automations or just play whenever you want on an infinite loop. Anything from white noise, rain sounds, fireplace sounds, ocean sounds. They got quite a few different ones. To set them up in an automation, just go into Apple HomeKit and create an automation that involves your HomePod. Then when you go down to audio, you're going to choose audio, and there's going to be an option here for ambient sounds. You can automate those to play pretty much whenever you want. I use these in a whole bunch of different automations, but the main one is when we leave the house, white noise plays through all of the HomePods so the dog doesn't hear noise in the hallway and get distracted. It's super effective. Another one when my girlfriend turns on reading mode in the bedroom, which makes the bedroom all cozy, turns on the bedside lamps. The HomePod plays a really quiet ocean noise just to make it a little bit more cozy and ambient. And lastly, when I'm in my office and I turn on my work focus mode, white noise will play out a full volume out of the HomePod in my office because my mind's always racing and I need it to get things done. And of course, you could just say, play ocean sounds.
Ocean now playing.
And it'll play on a continuous loop. Anyway, super little thing, but really useful. Most people don't know it's built into their HomePods. Thanks for watching. Bye.